This ABC 15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
Hello, I'm Faye Fredericks with your top stories from ABC 15 Arizona. More than 24 hours after Hurricane Ian made landfall, Florida now assessing the damage. The deadly storm's combination of powerful winds, rain, and storm surge flooding homes, cutting off roads, and leaving millions without power. The term historic is already being used when talking about Ian. Some experts are saying this will be the costliest storm in Florida history, exceeding the nearly $60 billion in damage that Hurricane Irma caused back in 2017. The loss of life with this storm may be even more devastating.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The numbers are still unclear, but we're hearing early reports of what may be substantial loss of life.
The deadliest storm to hit Florida happened back in the 1920s, killing more than 2,500 people. So far, at least 7 have died due to Hurricane Ian. This is now the 6th Category 4 or 5 storm to make landfall along the Gulf Coast in the last 6 years. You can take action to help the relief efforts. There's several nonprofits heading to Florida to help. We have several ways to donate for you as well. It's all on ABC15.com and our ABC15 app. Scripps Howard Fund has also set up a Hurricane Ian relief fund. The information there on your screen. You can also find it at ABC15.com. Hurricane Ian now moving up the coast, bearing down on the Carolinas. We'll continue to monitor the storm on air and also on our website, ABC15.com. 3 parents of survivors of the Uvalde school shooting have filed a lawsuit looking for punitive damages. Lawsuit has a host of allegations. Among the claims, lawyers for the families say the manufacturer of the gunman's weapon pushed aggressive marketing tactics. The school district's then police chief and the school's principal failed to act, and the city's police department failed to protect the victims. Ginni Thomas, who allegedly tried to press 29 Arizona lawmakers to overturn the 2020 election, and the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, meeting with the January 6th committee today for more than 4 hours. Following the meeting, a committee member said Thomas answered some questions and says she still believes the election was stolen. Immigrant rights groups calling on the Justice Department to investigate Governor Ducey. They want to know if he violated federal rules by busing migrants from Yuma to Washington, D.C. Since May, governor's office says more than 1,800 migrants voluntarily agreed to be bused from Yuma to Washington. Governor's office says most of those migrants want to go to New York, New Jersey, or Florida. The immigrant rights group says that they're receiving anecdotal stories of migrants being forced on the buses and then taken to cities far from where they want to go.
We need an investigation, we need the transparency, we need the accountability, and we need to treat people with humanity and dignity, not as suspects.
The governor's office disputes those claims, saying no one is forced to ride the bus. And once the migrants arrive at the terminal in Washington, refugee relocation services help them get to their final destination. Ahead of the midterm elections, a recent Pew Research Poll reveals an interesting perspective from Latino voters. It finds about half of Latinos don't see a big difference between what the Democratic and Republican parties stand for. More Latinos say Democrats will work harder to earn their votes. 70% of respondents see that as a positive. It's almost the weekend, and that means college football here on ABC 15. And boy, do we have a lineup for you. First, Oklahoma taking on TCU at 9 a.m. Then a battle in the ACC. The Demon Deacons taking on Florida State. Finally, we end the night with a top 10 matchup. NC State heading south, taking on Clemson. Make sure to stay tuned after that game for our Sports Extra show.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sellens, tracking your forecast as temperatures drop tomorrow. Another day in the triple digits today, but tomorrow we're going to drop into the upper 90s. We'll start things out in the 70s and then hit the 90s by lunchtime, with our high of 98 happening between 3 and 4 p.m. tomorrow. There's also going to be a slight chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. I'm really not expecting much. Futurecast does keep most of the action here tomorrow afternoon down to our south, but that slight chance in there just in case anything gets a little closer closer up into Pinal County or into the southeast portion of the Phoenix metro tomorrow. We will up storm chances a little bit more heading into the weekend. In fact, for the valley, a 20% shot at some showers and thunderstorms Saturday and another slight chance at 10% on Sunday. The monsoon season officially ends on Friday, but you can see those storm chances lingering. And even as the valley dries out next week, we are tracking more storm chances across the high country for all of next week. Here in Phoenix, drier and 90s still in play on Monday.
For the latest headlines, weather and traffic, head to abc15.com or download the free ABC 15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.